What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Real Word podcast, a place where real thoughts, real ideas, and real words come to life. I'm your host, Drew, coming from San Diego, California. Thank you for stopping by, tuning in, checking out the channel. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, hit up all those links down below. And now we can get into the episode. It is Wednesday, August 19th, 2020. Welcome in. About halfway through the work week. And dang, it's close to 7 o'clock in the morning. It's a late start for me. Woke up around 4:30, but hit the snooze a couple of times. Didn't end up getting up until around 5. Listened to some Ben and Woods this morning. Shout out to 97.3 The Fan. And just was kind of putting together what I was going to be talking about. There's a lot to kind of be talking about with the Padres. They've been making national news over the last 2 days, Monday and Tuesday. So we will get into all of that. We're going to probably be spending a majority of the time talking about that. We basically got two things. Well, so I'll give you a little recap just of yesterday. And then a majority of the time we'll be talking about the Padres baseball, and that whole situation. And then we'll talk a little bit about the state of California and the virus and fires and all that stuff going on. So kind of got, not a lot to talk about. Only a few things to talk about, but a lot to kind of get into within those couple of topics. So It'll be good. Yeah. Let's first get into just a little bit of recap of yesterday. And I already have some ground up in here already. Just gonna grind up the rest. Not the rest, but then I have some right in there. Damn. In the grinder that I'm gonna grind up some more of this Tropicana Punch from Farmer and the Felon. Then we'll take a few snaps and get on with the morning. Got my coffee. Yesterday, typically Tuesdays, you can go check out at _No World Order podcast on Instagram. And typically we go live at 2:30 p.m. On Tuesdays, but Zach had something come up and he wasn't able to do it, so just tune in, go to that channel, tune in, and be sure to check us out when we are live. And if you want, you can go check out the audio only here on YouTube. That's usually uploaded the following day, a full 24 hours after. Oh, it smells nice. Smells good. Definitely got a lot of bud here to smoke up on. But yeah, he wasn't able to come through. We weren't able to get an episode in, which to me is just a little frustrating because I want to treat this like a job, and there's, not too often that I call out for work, so you know what I mean? It's just, even if I don't want to do it or whatever, but, people have lives and stuff like that, and this isn't a job to people, but to me, I want to treat it like that, and that's all I can do with my solo content. And, whether me and my brother get back together and do our thing, who knows, and just whenever me and Zach are able to get together, who knows, but at least I can be consistent and control myself and what I want. So it's a little frustrating because I do want to, build a team, but you can't, it's hard to rely on people. It really is. Even my friends, family, it's hard to rely on them to really be consistent with something. because, you know, if they don't have the same vision or the same dream, then of course it's not going to line up. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I enjoy it, you know what I mean? And it's what I want to do. I just wish and would like people to be a little more just consistent, I guess. Like, consistency is key. That's the only way you're gonna be able to grow and build something, is just being consistent, setting a schedule. It doesn't matter if something comes up, boom, you're there. It's like a job, you know, like work it like a job. But that's just me. That's how I see it. And yeah, I'm not mad at anybody or anything like that. It is just a little frustrating because it's like, yeah, I rarely would call out sick for work, or, you know, things like, I would still focus on my job, you know what I mean? So I don't know. That's just me. That's just how I feel. But it's all good. Like I said, it doesn't really matter to me because I'm still doing my solo stuff, and that's perfectly fine with me. I got to figure out how to get to the next level and all of that. But to me, it's just, I don't really care. This is like my form of therapy, another form of therapy, I should say. And yeah, it doesn't really matter. Like, I would appreciate, and it'd be cool if more people watched, listened, checked out the channel and stuff like that. But honestly, this is for me, and this is what I want to do, is what I enjoy. So, you know, the money, all of that, it'll come. Like, you know, it's a little worrisome because, you know, you do need money and you do need these resources to survive. But it's like, starting this was not the main, like, I didn't start this just to make money. Like, I've been wanting to do this for a long time. So now it's just being consistent, putting in the work, and just continuing that build and that growth, you know? And yeah, I believe in it. So it's like, if I believe in it, if I keep consistent with it, then I have a feeling that it will all work out. But that's my opinion. We'll see what happens, you know? Like, all I can do is just continue being consistent with my part of it. Like, I can't control anybody else's part of it, but for me, this is what I can control, and this is what I can do. At least every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, as long as I don't have any technical difficulties or anything like that, you know, you'll be getting at least a solo episode from me. And then you know, I'll try and be doing the live stream gameplay on Thursdays, and hopefully be able to get Isaiah to do that as well, and we can have that Thursday thing going. But again, I don't even know, like, I don't even know if I can rely on anybody. Like, it's tough, but you know, it is what it is. Things come up, and I don't hold it against anybody, but for me, I just I don't know. I don't do that, or I rarely do that. But I don't know, it seems to happen to me all the time. But I'll just say it is what it is. All right, let's get into the snap. And yeah. Well, I'll finish talking about a little bit of yesterday, and then get into that Padres talk. Cheers. There we go. There we go. So I know, like, Monday, I believe I said I wasn't talking to my family and stuff. I knew it wasn't gonna last. But I was really upset. I was really hurt, really angry about this weekend and stuff. All of a sudden I got like a text from my brother. I won't get into that, but yeah, it didn't sit well with me the way he was kind of coming at me, but and then the fact that he just won't like listen to me or the things that I say, it's just he thinks he knows it all or something. I don't know. But it's really frustrating because it's like I can explain the situation and explain what's going on from my point of view, and he's just like, "Nope, you're wrong. You need to do this and just get over it and stop doing this." And it's like, okay, whatever. It's like you just don't listen, and yeah, it's frustrating. So I got a few text messages from him and was replying back and forth with him. And because of that, I was like, okay, I need to talk to my mom. This is just kind of ridiculous, his point of view, in my opinion. So I called my mom and we had a good conversation. I expressed myself and how I felt over the weekend and why I felt the way I felt. And, I just feel like because of how I am, who I am, the way I am, I'm not really accepted by my family. And it's like they just think it's so easy and I should just be able to like just get over it or, not engage in certain things. Like I don't know how many times I have to tell you guys, like, I'm not wired the same. Like, I'm not a quote unquote normal, average, whatever person. Like, there's definitely something going on with my brain. There's something, like, quote unquote wrong. Like for real, there's some serious stuff going on there, especially with that personality test that I took, a month ago or so, or whatever that was. And, it really highlighted some things that I wasn't even aware of. And having it laid out the way it was, it made complete sense. It's like some of these terms and conditions and diagnoses, like disorder, like it all made so much sense when it was laid out in the uh definition described to me, like what it was and what it actually meant. I was like, oh wow, yeah, this is definitely me. Oh yeah, that's definitely me too. Like what? That's crazy. Like there was just so many things. I was like, oh whoa. From even like the generalized depression to the major depression, where the one that is like short term, like a year and a half, year long or so, was like super heightened by like 15 something points, and the generalized depression was, still a disorder at like 80 something, like 85, 86, something like that. And that reflects exactly what's been going on. It's like I've always had this generalized depression from really young, like that's always kind of been. And the major depression like happened about 2 years ago, a year and a half, and then like it kind of constantly kept spiraling since then. So it's been really heightened. So it's really interesting to see how based on just like 100 and something true or false questions that is able to pinpoint exactly kind of who and how you kind of are, think, operate, and can kind of generalize you and characterize you in this type of way. Really fascinating, really interesting to me. Um, pretty crazy. But yeah, they like a lot of my family or whatever just doesn't. I know my mom does. She's gone book. She's trying to help herself, trying to help herself understand how to kind of deal and operate with me, and I appreciate it. But this weekend was definitely, I feel, a setback because I just wasn't included, and now there's more tension and more friction between the family and stuff like that. So yeah, I appreciate her doing, her homework and trying her best to kind of learn. And that's all she can do. And I do appreciate that. Like I said, this weekend was a little bit of a setback, but I do understand that she does try. I can't say that about like anybody else in the family or anything like that. or really anybody else around me, like friends, family, loved ones, anything. I feel like nobody really goes and does their research on what it is that I've told them, like what I self-diagnosed myself, and then kind of what the personality test determined, like kind of confirmed. Um, the borderline personality was definitely on there as a disorder. It was definitely a disorder, qualified for a disorder. Um, but dude, some of the other stuff was way higher. Like the anxiety, the depression was all higher. So really fascinating stuff. But it definitely was confirmed with the borderline personality disorder. And I from the moment I heard about that, I just really, it connected with me so hard. I was like, I was scared to look it up because I heard the symptoms and I was like, what the fuck? Like, that hit way too close to home. Listening to Dr. Drew and Christina P on Dr. Drew After Dark, whatever it was, like a year and a half ago, year ago, like I heard them talking about it and it hit so hard. And I was like, what is that? And it took me a good couple of weeks to gain up the courage to go look into it more. And once I did, I was like, oh my God, that is me to a T. I think I hit almost every single one of the triggers that would need to be hit to qualify as a borderline personality disorder. Whatever. And I was like, oh my God, like it felt good to know, but then it was also scary and also overwhelming. And yeah, now it's just been on this roller coaster of, having this understanding of what it is finally. But now it's like, what do you do? What do you do about it? Because the more you research, it's like there's not really a cure. People kind of can get over it, or it's just something you learn how to cope and deal with for the rest of your life, and it's just constant therapy and all of that. So you know this is 20 something years for me though, of this bad habits, bad behavior, and all of that. And yeah, it's gonna be a long time. And it's funny because drama always follows me, but I hate it. Like I never want drama, I never want to initiate it. That's never anything that I want, but it seems like I always start a debate or always start the problem, or like it seems to always follow me, even though like I don't ever want it. Like I can't stand it. I try and avoid that stuff at all costs, like, but it seems to always find me in whatever situation I'm in, which is just a little frustrating. But so that's kind of where I'm at. I know Monday is usually the one where I'm kind of breaking down all of this stuff, but I felt it was pretty important. Um, yeah, and like I said, who cares? This is more for me anyway. This is my form of therapy, my other form of therapy, and a way to keep me on schedule and do something, and you know, you know, let's get into another little snap, and then we'll talk a little Padres. We'll talk a little bit a Padres. Talk about the Monday night game. Wow. Damn. Excuse me. We'll talk about the Monday night game. Jeez, my voice got all like super phlegmy and cracked. That was ridiculous. We'll talk about the Monday night game, which got the Padres some national attention, which was pretty crazy. Then we'll talk about last night's game and then what they have coming up. So let's get into another snap and then talk some Padres baseball. Shout out to the San Diego Padres, the Friar Faithful, Padres Twitter. Shout them all out. Cheers, everybody. So Monday night, the game that got it all started for the Padres. Jeez. Talking about Tatis right now. Fernando Tatis Jr. So Monday, Fernando Tatis Jr., who entered the night, had been tied with Mike Trout and Aaron Judge for the majors lead with 9 home runs. Trout hit his 10th against San Francisco on Monday night, and Tatis matched that and then exceeded him with numbers 10 and 11. Tatis's first blast, a 3-run shot, came in the 7th inning against Jesse Chavez. The ball left his bat traveling at nearly 113 miles per hour, according to the StatCast data. An inning later in the 8th, so the Padres were up like 10-3 at the time. Tatis took advantage of bases loaded situation, and he had a 3-0 count. And it was a fastball from Juan Nicasio. And got a fastball, and it was an opposite field shot, flew out roughly at 110 miles per hour, and this was a grand slam that put the Padres up 14-3 in the 8th inning. And the very next batter, so I think that pitcher was pulled, and then that pitcher from the bullpen came in. And the very next batter was Manny Machado, and he got thrown behind. Like, they threw it behind Manny Machado. The umpires did get together after that pitch that was thrown at Manny Machado. They got together to discuss what happened. You know, everybody was thinking at least maybe a warning would be issued, but then nothing ended up happening, which was really strange. I believe I even heard like the next morning on Ben and Woods that the manager was surprised that the umpires didn't give a warning or anything like that. But really interesting that the umpires didn't do anything about it. But MLB did come down a little bit later and suspend the pitcher. I forget his name who threw at Manny. But they suspended him for 3 games and the manager for 1 game who served his suspension last night. So they were mad at Tatis for swinging at a 3-0 pitch, already up, 10-3, and then him making it then 14-3. They say, the game ended 14-4, so Rangers did end up getting 1 back, but they got mad about these quote unquote unwritten rules of baseball, and it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I know there was a lot of controversy with the post game when Jace Tingler came out and kind of said this was a learning opportunity, and he just made it seem like he wasn't backing Tatis. And to me, I didn't really think too much of it. It was what it was. Like, it didn't really bother me too much. And then the next day yesterday before the game, Tingler did a little press conference as well and address some things and kind of change the narrative a little bit, if you want to say. Like, I never was worried about it anyway. Like, I thought it was all good. It was stupid because Tatis was kind of forced to kind of apologize for doing what he did, and it's like, dude, it was 3-0, bases loaded. He was probably looking for a certain pitch, got it, and just took it. Like, what are you supposed to do? Like, I've been hearing, shout out to Woods on Ben and Woods. He's been saying, like, so what? He takes the first. So he takes 3-0, and it's a strike. So then it's 3-1. He finds that same pitch, 3-2, grand slam. Is that okay then? Or then get this, so he takes 3-0 and then strikes, so now it's 3-1. And then boom, he swings and then it's misses, and then it's strike 2. And then boom, he swings and hits a grounder and then it's a double play, inning ending. Is that okay? Like, you know what I mean? Like, just let these kids play. Like, let the players play. Like, who cares? These unwritten rules is not in the rule book, so who cares, man? Like, I understand there's like respect things and all of that, but they're there to play. And like I heard one of the Padres pitchers, I believe it was Davies, said, just pitch better in that situation. Like 3-0, like get a better pitch it better. And that's how I feel, man. Like, dude, how many times have the Padres been on the other end of something like that, where it's just like, oh my God, another blowout, here we go. And they're just adding on. We can't get out of this inning. You know what I mean? Like, the Padres have had that happen to them so many times. And, it's just, I think there's more of this kind of blow up because of Tingler being associated with the Rangers, so that might have more to do with this than everything. And but yeah, it's just because you've seen like some legends and a lot of old players, even current players, come out and be like, what he did was fine. What Fernando Tatis Jr. did was completely fine. And he should be swinging there, and if he found his pitch or whatever, like. So when you have like the old school players coming out and, sticking up for what he did, and then you have the new players sticking up for what he did, and it's getting a ton of national coverage, and then you have like, I saw Wale tweet about it and how he said Fernando Tatis Jr. is now his new favorite player. And yeah, man, he's going to be getting a lot of attention, and I just really hope that the Padres can sign him to kind of a long-term lifetime deal, man, and just keep him a part of the town and the team for years and years to come, because he is an exciting player, and he's just already just doing amazing things, and he's just really young, man, only 21 years old. It's really insane what he's kind of doing, what the numbers he's putting up, and just over 105 games, like close to maybe 110 now. And yeah, it's just it's exciting to see. This team is exciting. They have their struggles, obviously, but when they are on, they are really fun to watch. They, like I said, they have their struggles, but when the bats are going, it is fun to see. And they don't make too many errors in the field. So, their defense is pretty good. At least infield wise, you got Machado, Tatis. I like Cronenworth there a second with with Profar kind of mixing it in as well. And then, Hosmer there at first, and then so that's a solid infield right there. Cronenworth is, really proven himself, and has earned a spot on the roster, and he's kind of taken advantage of every opportunity that he's been given, whether it's on the defensive side or the offensive side. He's been coming in clutch. He's been hitting pretty good, and his defense is just pretty astounding, man. It's amazing. It's pretty cool to watch. I forget where he came from, but yeah, I really like him, but I would hate to see it, but I wouldn't be surprised if they trade him away for something else. But I like him. They should keep him, because he is a real highlight on this team right now. And if Myers gets it going, like he had the grand slam in the first inning yesterday, he gets going. Tommy Pham, he just got put on the injured list with a broken bone, something in the hand. So that's unfortunate. But if Naylor can get going and get his defense a little bit better and get hitting and you know just be consistent, I think he could be really good. Um, and then they're kind of rotating that left field spot right now. I feel like I don't feel like any one person is kind of standing out as a real left fielder right now. Because you have Myers and right, and then yeah, center and left I feel are a little not stable. But you know, listing off those players, man, they have a good solid core, a good solid foundation, a lot of talent. The catcher the catcher position is a problem. All you can do is you just hope for Hedges or Mejia to be able to produce at least a little bit better whenever they're up to bat. And Mejia needs to get a little bit better on the defensive side as well. And there's only one way to do that, with just being consistent and getting the reps. So I don't know how. And then, Hedges needs to get the offense going, and there's no better way to do that than getting the reps. So I don't know how you kind of get the catcher position figured out. It's, it's definitely a sore spot for sure. But they're still exciting to watch, man. The Padres are exciting to watch, even when they've been struggling. Like, what are they now, 12-11 or something like that? Just 1 over 500. So yeah, Monday they ended up winning 14-4, and then yesterday, like I said, Will Myers hit a first inning grand slam, and and they beat the Rangers 6-4. So they got out to a real good start right away. And it was like 6-0 for a while, and then all of a sudden the Rangers started coming back, and that 6-4 lead I was not comfortable with. Yeah, Jerkson Profar added a 2-run homer against his former team, and 5 Padres relievers combined for 6 scoreless innings to close out the victory. So, yeah, once the Rangers got their runs, it was a bullpen game. It was a bullpen game, and it did not feel comfortable at any moment. But Padres ended up getting it done, and they won 6-4. Got the 2-game sweep, and there was a really exciting play. You can't say anything about Manny Machado and his hustle play now. They've been doing this shift, but it's just funny. A third baseman, he was kind of in, playing that 2-1-1 shift. So he was on the right field, like around first base grass area. And there was a hit, in the corner going towards the foul line, like a pop up by Gallo, and Machado made this running, just look like, I don't know if it's a full on sprint, but it's a good hustle, good run, and he was running and made this like over the shoulder catch, and just so nice. It looked like a really difficult catch. Not his position, not where he normally is, probably isn't even familiar with that field, that part of the field. And for him to run that ball down and catch it was pretty cool to see. And, there's just always been this kind of narrative of Manny Machado not being this hustle guy. And, he even admitted by himself he's not, Mr. Johnny Hustle or whatever. But it's like, he'll do it when it's needed. If you're going to hit a ground ball to the third baseman, of course you're not gonna sprint it out, man. Like if they overthrow it, then you're gonna make it to first anyway. You know? So it's like I understand that. Um, but lay out when you need to. You always see him diving for the balls, like when they're hit to third. So it's like he does hustle and he does make the plays when needed, you know. And he does need to get it going a little bit on offense. It is a little bit of a slow start, which is a little frustrating, especially in this shortened season. But he is making good contact with the ball most of the time. It's just finding, you know, the wrong spot or the right spot if you're the defense, you know what I mean? So it's a little frustrating, but you know, he's making good contact. You can hear it, and you know, once he gets going, this team will be like on fire, man. They really will. It'll be interesting to see. So now the Padres and the Rangers are heading back to San Diego, and they're starting a 2-game series here in San Diego. And that should start today. Like, I don't believe the Padres have another day off yet, so that should be today. And yeah, Wednesday night. Yep, they'll be here. And Chris Paddock is gonna be starting tonight. He was originally scheduled to face the Rangers in Texas yesterday on Tuesday, but he was pushed back to get an extra day's rest. He gave up 6 runs, all but 1 on 3 homers, 6 hits and a walk in 3 innings at Dodger Stadium on Thursday. Paddock has given up 12 runs and 6 homers over his past 3 starts, covering 14 and 2/3 innings. He'll be facing the Rangers for the first time in his career. Meanwhile, Lance Lynn, the pitcher for the Rangers, is off to one of the best starts in the major leagues. In 5 starts, the 6'5", wow, he's really tall, 250-pound veteran has given up 5 runs, 4 earned on 12 hits and 12 walks with 36 strikeouts and 32 1/3 innings. You know, if Chris Paddock is on, this should be a very interesting pitching duel, but man, Paddock has been struggling this season, and it's kind of frustrating to see. And like I mentioned, I believe on Monday, that it's like, I think they pushed his hype a little bit too much last season, and now when he has any sort of struggles, it's really highlighted and heightened. And you just kind of see the struggles more. I don't know. Like, I have just such mixed feelings about Paddock because last season he was so dominant, so good. He had that fire, but then he kind of struggled as well in certain aspects, and we're kind of seeing those struggles here in the early stages of the season. And he's got to get it going, and you just got to hope that the Padres offense can get some stuff going against this pitcher who has been pretty dominant at the start of this season. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully those hot bats came in from Texas and continue here at Petco. And, you know, I'll be definitely tuning in. I don't know what time. It might be a 6:40 game time, maybe 6:10, probably 6:40. I don't think they're doing the 7 o'clock game times anymore. Maybe. Didn't they at Dodger Stadium? I don't know. Anyway, maybe not here in San Diego. They're not doing it that late anymore. But yeah, I'll definitely be tuning into that. I just, whenever I hear Chris Paddock coming on the mound now, I'm just like, I don't know. It's a little tough. But until I see something where he's back to his dominant self, man, I don't know. I don't know. Let's get into another little snap and then we'll get into the last topic real quick. And then I will get on out of here. Cheers, everybody. Oh, before I get on to the next topic, this just popped in my mind. Was thinking about it just now. Like, it literally popped right into my mind right now when I was taking that hit. I watched the Joe Rogan podcast yesterday night, evening, after the Padre game because that was a daytime game. So that was pretty cool being able to then enjoy the evening with some other stuff. But he had David Blaine on, and that was a really interesting, fascinating, really cool podcast. And I've always been interested in, magic, card magic, that type of stuff, illusions and sleight of hand and all of that. Like, I used to really be into it, have different like magic kits, and saw Lance Burton at one point, and no, Steve something Warwick. Some, I don't know. There was another guy we saw at some point, and I've always been super fascinated with magic, and David Blaine. I've always kind of watched his stuff. He's been, really prominent throughout my childhood growing up, seeing him on TV and different shows and different stunts that he's always been doing throughout the years. So it was cool to see them finally meet and have a really fascinating conversation, and him do a couple of his tricks, stunts, and whatever they are. They're not, it's not really magic, like, especially, him just drinking close to, like, over a gallon of water, and swallowing a frog, and then a few minutes later spitting them back up, because it's like he's very aware of what to do, like not eat for 36 hours so there's no food, nothing in his system, and he's hitting something with baking soda, clearing out some sort of acids or something like that, and then just drinking. He said he drank over a gallon of water, and then swallowed the frog, let it just chill in his stomach in some water, and then he spit it back up a few minutes later. It was kind of gross to listen to and watch, but it was really interesting. And then another thing, like, he had Rogan take an ice pick and put it through his like bicep, and typically David Blaine said whenever he's done it, he's gone this way. But Rogan was sitting on this side and he went this way. So this is something new that he had never done before. Initially, Rogan went in, hit a nerve. He's like, oh, shit. So he had to pull it out, readjust the position somewhere else, and did it. He's like, oh, I hit something there, but, keep going. Straight up push an ice pick through his, like, bicep, man. It was crazy. And, again, these aren't, I wouldn't say that's a trick. Like, I don't think there's any trick to that. It's just having willpower. I don't know, man. Just the power of the mind. Like, I don't know. It's pretty crazy though. It was a fascinating, really interesting podcast. Yeah, it just popped into my mind, and I wanted to pass that along because I thought it was really, really interesting, and I've always kind of been interested in magic, and it just makes me so frustrated. Like, magic just makes me so frustrated because it's like I wanted to do it, you know what I mean? Like, I've always wanted to do tricks and learn it, and it's like I don't really know how you learn it when they don't really give you the secrets, and then getting instructions it just never seemed to work for me. Like reading an instruction thing or whatever just never seemed to work for me. Like I couldn't never figure it out or whatever. So I don't know. Is I don't know, man. But I've always been super interested in it. Okay, so let's get into this. So Governor Gavin Newsom declared an emergency Tuesday over wildfires burning throughout California amid excessive heat wave, while the state's power grid operator thanked customers for conserving energy in order to avoid rolling blackouts. The state is in a days-long heat wave that has stressed the electrical system, but the dynamic, humid weather also sparked brief, heavy thunderstorms and flash flood warnings Tuesday afternoon in some desert and mountain areas. Lightning strikes also set dozens of fires, and thousands of people were under evacuation orders not far from the San Francisco Bay Area, near Salinas in Monterey County, around Oroville Dam, north of Sacramento, in remote Mendocino County, and near the Nevada state line north of Lake Tahoe. Yeah. This is it says the California Independent System Operator, or ISO, issued the first rolling blackouts in nearly 20 years on Friday, resulting in the state's three biggest utilities, Pacific Gas and Electric, Southern California Edison, and SDG&E, San Diego Gas and Electric, turning off power to more than 410,000 homes and businesses for about an hour at a time until the emergency declaration ended 3.5 hours later. Scary times, man. The fact that they can control the electricity and power and gas and all of that just basically with the switch of a button, turn of the grid. You can just turn it off, and that's kind of what conspiracy theorists have always worried about, is them just being able to do that at any moment, because then it would shut down all communication, and it really makes things scary, and we're really thrown back into a time that we are not familiar with, you know what I mean? And a lot of people in today's age probably would not be able to survive in that type of situation. I mean, luckily it's only been for about an hour or so at a time, but that could just be little test runs, who knows? Who knows? Definitely scary times going on, with the heat going on, the fires, and then, with this humid weather, like all of a sudden yesterday in the evening, late afternoon, early evening, the skies just turned from like super sunny, bright, to this like overcast, super humid, like thick, just felt like it was about to storm. Just really interesting just how quickly it could change. And then I wasn't even really too aware of all of the fires and all of that going on until I looked this morning, but I kind of had a feeling with the heat coming and with them saying that they were going to be turning the grid off. I was like, I bet there's going to be some fires going. I think I called it. So, yeah, I mean, not that I'm saying it. Well, I don't know. You can look at a lot of fires started here in California, and a lot of them, they stem from arson. So, who knows who starts them, I think in some accounts they get the people involved, but I think in most cases it's just kind of never figured out. So yeah, scary times, man. But let's get into this. San Diego County was removed from the California State Watch List Tuesday after recording an average of less than 100 cases per 100,000 residents for 3 days, officials said. The new status doesn't permit businesses to reopen, but it will allow K-12 schools to welcome students back to campuses for in-person education with approval from from county officials as soon as September 1st if the county stays off the list for more than 2 weeks. Or for 2 more weeks. The county landed on the watch list on July 5th. Of course. They had to do that, right? Following the 4th of July weekend when people flooded beaches due to the closures of the coastline to the north, like from Orange County and stuff. California's watch list now stands at 41 counties, accounting for up to nearly 97% of the state's population. So, damn, the watch list are still 97% of the population are still under the watch list. That's crazy. 5 counties were at it. So 5 counties: Amador, I don't know, Mendocino, Inyo, Calaveras, and Sierra were added to the list on Monday. A county is added to the list if it has recorded more than 100 new cases per 100,000 residents in the past 14 days. If a county has recorded more than 25 new cases per 100,000 and its test rate positivity is roughly 8% and can also be put on the list. Counties on the watch list for 3 straight days or more must shutter or modify certain businesses for outdoor operations, including gyms, places of worship, non-essential office spaces, shopping malls, and personal care services such as barbershops and nail salons. Oh, this is all so frustrating. Because it's like they want people to get tested. But I don't know if people realize if you get tested, then you're a new case. And if you're a new case, then we're never going to be getting off of this watch list. I know we did just get off the watch list, which is good. Maybe people are waking up and not going and getting tested, which would be amazing. Because, yeah, I don't think people realize if you go get tested, then it's a new case. And if it's a new case, then it adds to the statistics of a new case. Even if you don't test positive, it's still a new case. And that's all they're kind of focusing on right now, which is just ridiculous. And, you know, I know someone like Joe Rogan and stuff, they're getting tested. He's getting tested like every single day. So it's like, is that a new case every single day that he's getting tested? Dana White, when he's doing all his tests for UFC, like, is that new cases? And is that why some of these numbers are so high? Is because some people are getting tested like 10, 15 times a week? I don't know. And then, you know, someone like a corporation like the UFC where they have all these fighters and they have like, you know, let's say 15 fighters on a card and each have to get tested like 4 times. Like how many that's like how many cases would that technically be, and does that count? I might be off on that, but I feel like that's what it is. So it's like if you have a test, then you're added to the case statistics. So I don't know, man. I really don't know. But you know, at least it's a good thing we're off the list, at least for now. At least for now. We'll see what the next phase is, right? I guess that's kind of what we gotta look into and be aware of. But yeah, pretty crazy stuff. Pretty crazy stuff. All the fires. Just everybody be safe, man. Be safe. Stay healthy. I finally got some vitamin D vitamins, like supplement, whatever. Little tablets. Got that yesterday, so I can stay up on that. Got some more, you know, produce. Gotta just be healthy, man. I just gotta stay healthy. I've been went on 2 runs over the last couple of days, 2 back-to-back days. So today probably gotta do some wrestling, jiu-jitsu, or boxing workout with my dad or something. Gotta get back to that. Last time we tried that, census came by and I kind of really got upset and mad at him for kind of giving out my information and actually just kind of complying and giving the census people our information. But yeah, then him just giving all of my information just really frustrated me. But we got to get back to that workout, and I just kind of got to, keep running, keep doing those workouts, just keep alternating, and just keeping the mind healthy, keeping the body healthy, and just gotta keep things going in a positive direction. That's all I gotta do. That's all I'm trying to do. So let's get into this last nap, and I will be out of here. Cheers. Thank you, everybody, for stopping by, tuning in, checking out the channel. Again, make sure to like, share, and subscribe on everything. And tune in tomorrow for Cult of Gaming. I will at least be streaming. And I'll be back on Friday for another episode of the Real WerD podcast. Till next time, everybody. Peace.